Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We are entering the Green Dolphin State Prison to start ranking stands. We're gonna get straight into it. I don't know what part this is, but if I had to guess, let's see. I think this is part 10. I'm pretty sure it's part 10. Anyway, let's get into it. First up, Stone Free, the stand of the second best Jojo, Jolene Cujo. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I've been thinking about this. You're gonna probably hear me say I like the design of all these stands because I think Iraqi absolutely cooked with the main group in part 6. And yeah, Stone Free is just cool, and I really like its sunglasses. I think its sunglasses is like a fire touch. But anyway, let's get down to the actual power. Stone Free's ability is that it's string decomposition, where Jolene can make her body into string, which actually has a lot of uses. And the string can actually go pretty far, and the string is also invisible to all non-stand users. Good example, the string she can try to like make this string go out of the prison, and she like choked her lawyer because he was like a dirty lawyer. I think the tradition of the Jojo stand being an S is going to stay, because I really just think there's a lot you could do with Stone Free, but I do think like at a Star Platinum, Crazy Diamond, Golden Wind, and Stone Free, I think Stone Free would be the weakest, but I think it deserves to be in S tier, like with some of the greats. And I also just think Jolene is an amazing character. Hashtag second best JoJo, just right behind the GOAT Josuke. Next up we have Kiss. This is something. Oh yeah, Kiss. Kiss is the stand of Hermes, the Jobro part 6. Kiss is an interesting design. I think out of like all the part 6 main stands, like Stone Free, Foo Fighters, Weather Report, and Diver Down, I think this is the worst one, or the most lacking design wise. But I do know Kiss does have its fans, and I can kind of see why. I like the crown looking thing it has going on its head. But Kiss's ability is it puts a sticker on something and it copies that thing. It makes a duplicate. It's sticker duplicating. It makes duplicating stickers. That's the better way to like put it, I guess. It's just how useful. Oh, actually, this would be useful. Hold up. Is this? I don't think it's S, but I do think we're gonna put it next, because just the ability to duplicate anything, that's actually really good. You would save so much money. Hold up. Change my mind. This is S tier. Yeah. I think Kiss is S tier. I mean, you could just like, you could duplicate food. You could duplicate stuff to resell. You could duplicate like a game to resell. You could duplicate just so much, like technology, like a laptop. You could just like, what if you just duplicate money? That is another thing. I think Kiss could be like a pretty good money generator, even though when we get to part 8 we're going to be ranking a stand that generates money. That will be interesting. We have burning down the house, or burning the house down. I don't know which one it is off the top of my head, but this is the stand of Emporio, which allows him to enter a ghost room, where, it's actually surprisingly a nice little room too. It's got a piano, it's got like some stuff, it's got a laptop, it's got some stuff on like some shelves, it's got like, I think it's got food and drink. It's just, when would you ever need to evacuate into like this room? I don't think it's D tier by any means, because you can get the items from in the ghost room and bring them into the real world. It's just, I think the only item you would ever really need is like the laptop or something, unless you can like take something, unless you can design the room, which I don't know if you could. I might have to look into that, but as of right now, I do think burning down the house is C tier. I don't know, I don't really see it being that good, and I think if I wanted to stand to where I can enter things, I think I would much prefer D4C. Next up, we have the GOAT, Foo Fighters. Um, some people watching this video are probably thinking, you know, I'm probably a little biased for this part because I love part 6 and I specifically love Foo Fighters. Not even gonna hold it. I think Foo Fighters is S tier. I think Foo Fighters is one of the best design stands. I love its alien look. But yeah, let's get down to it. Foo Fighters is the stand of FF, who is another one of my favorite characters, up there with Jolene and Josuke. But Foo Fighters is a very interesting stand, as up until this point we haven't really seen anything like it. Foo Fighters is a colony of plankton, and I don't know why, I just fuck with that so hard. Like, you can do so much with it, kind of like what FF does. She uses them as bullets. She does it. She heals. She's a healer. She's basically all in one. She's a support and like a damager. Foo Fighters is just a go. Hashtag gone too soon. May she live up. Foo Fighters is S tier. Next up, we have Weather Report. Weather Report is a very, 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 very interesting stand, as this is Weather Report is the stand of Weather Report. Love that. So what the stand does, it's kind of weather manipulation, as the stand itself is like clouds and stuff. But you can just like, one thing I like, it's kind of got like that Logia effect from in One Piece, like let's refer to it as that, where it's like you throw a punch at Weather Report and like the punch could like go through him because it's like a cloud. I do kind of like that. Some notable things Weather Report can also do. When Weather gets his memories back, he gets a move called Heavy Weather, which makes rainbows spawn like all over the world, or all over Florida. I don't remember which one it is. And people who look at the rainbow start receiving subliminal like waves to start turning into snails. That is just so bizarre that you like it. Like, I don't know, it's a top tier power. I just like the bizarreness of Weather Report. Other abilities it does have like rain manipulation. It can make clouds rain. It can manipulate the air and the wind, the humidity, the temperature. I think all of these powers are really good. It's just Weather Report is it's just not useful, but it has aura. But so yeah, I think it's an A tier. Yeah. Yeah, it's A. It's alright. Last stand we have is Diver Down. Another phenomenal design-wise stand from Araki. Great job, Mr. Hirohiko. This is the stand of Anasui, another character I really like in Part 6. Diver Down has two big abilities, to where its main ability is, I don't know how to describe it, like impact manipulation. Like, for example, punches a door like multiple times, and Diver Down can decide like when the impact of the blows is going to start affecting the door, and then it works. But another thing, Diver Down can also like go into things and like rearrange them, such as when the big example is when Anasui made Diver Down put a frog brain in Yo-Yo Ma, that stand. I think the bros of Part 6, I think Diver Down is going to be an A with Weather Report, because, you know, they're the bros of Part 6. So yeah, I think that's it. We got 3 S tiers in one video. That's awesome. Uh, yeah. I think a lot of Part 6 stands are good and well designed, and I just love Part 6. So yeah. Be on the lookout for the next video where, as you can see, we're going to be diving into Green Dolphin State Prison inmates. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, everyone, welcome back to part 11 of Jojo's stand rankings. Last episode we looked at the Green Dolphin escapees. Now we're going to be looking at the not so fortunate people of Green Dolphin State Prison that haven't escaped. We're going to be looking at their stands. So first up we have Go-Go Dolls, or Goo Goo Dolls, I don't know which one it is. This is the stand of Gwes, Jolene's cellmate. And this stand's ability is that it can shrink anyone who is in its radius. Like, it shrinks people down in its radius. It's not really that useful, honestly. And Gwes was kind of using it, like, in a pretty messed up way. She was having, like, people, like, be like a bird, like a little parrot. I think this is a C tier. Nothing too crazy about Go-Go Dolls, but it was an interesting first enemy, I guess. We did get Ratline out of this stand. That is something of note. Next up we have Manhattan Transfer. This is the stand of John Gallia. Manhattan Transfer is a stand with it's got like 2 sub-abilities. Its first ability is it can read wind currents, which for a normal person like me or you is probably not so good. But for its user, because John Gallier is blind, that is like amazing for him. And its other ability is that it can redirect bullets. So kinda in a way, it is a worse version of Sex Pistols. Because if I want to stand that can redirect bullets, I'm gonna go for Sex Pistols and not Manhattan Transfer. Maybe if I was blind, I would pick it over Sex Pistols. But fortunately, I'm not blind. Next up we have Highway to Hell. This is the stand of McQueen. This was one of the guards for Green Dolphin State Prison. So what the stand does is it shares its damage. That's like what it actually does. It's damage sharing, but it's mainly just used to show off. Like, I can see like a common misconception on how like the stand is, oh, if I kill myself, you're gonna die. But I mean, yeah, that is technically how it works. But it is damage sharing. I don't think you would get any use of this IRL. If I think even alright, IRL, the stand is probably like one of the worst ones to have. But even in like a series like Jojo's, that stand is still C tier. I think Highway to Hell is. I think we got our first Part 6 D tier. I think we do. Yeah. I just can't see it being any higher, personally. Next up, we have Marilyn Monson. I personally really like Marilyn Monson. I don't remember who the user is, but this was the villain where it like Jolene and Foo Fighters had to keep playing catch, basically. So what Marilyn Monson does, you have to make, for it to even start, you have to make a bet. And if you lose the bet, like if you're betting money, you have to pay it that amount. And if you can't do it, it's just going to start taking like organs from you. Like, I think it took like an organ out of Hermes and like put it into the dead. But kind of like what I just said with Highway to Hell, usefulness probably like C tier. But personally, I like it. I like its design. I like the arc. I think it's A. Yeah, I do think it is A. I think it's A. Alright, next up we have Jumpin' Jack Flash. Uh, did this one have two abilities? I don't remember. I know its main ability is it does. It's got a main ability and like a sub ability kind. Its main ability is gravity removal, and you kind of just start like floating up like woo woo woo. That in itself is kind of good. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is a C tier stand. But its sub ability is that like in the stand's body it has like these screws that it can just shoot out. I don't think Jumpin' Jack Flash is that good, personally. But maybe somebody can tell me about this in the comments. Maybe somebody can give me the hype of Jumping Jack Flash. Next up we have Limp Biscuit. This is the stand of, what's his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I can't remember. It's Hermes' like main villain. What was his name? Sports Maximum. Fuck yes, I got it. Alright, Sports Maximum. This is the stand of Sports Maximum. This stand reanimates things from the dead. That's so cool. It makes zombies. And I think at one point it even makes like invisible zombies. Personally, I don't really care. I think this is another C tier stand. Yeah, and personally, I'm not a big fan of like the Sports Maximum arc. Yeah, sorry, Sports Maxi. Next up we have Survivor. This is often considered what is to be one of the worst stands in JoJo's, just for like what it is. Basically, all it does, it's like, it boosts people's anger, and it can go up to like an absurd amount. And just like everyone else, I think this is D tier. Can't really do much with it in the real world or real life. Sorry, Survivor. Next up we have Planet Waves. Planet Waves is the stand of one of the prison guards that was in like the max security for Green Dolphin State Prison. And basically what this does, it is just meteorite attraction. Like it calls for a meteorite in space. Is it as bad as some of the stands in D tier? I'm gonna say no, but it is like, I do think it is bottom C. Personally. I just don't really see like calling a space rock to Earth is going to do, other than like help kill people. Like you'd have to be like a fighter or a killer to get any of use of this in like real life. Next up we have Dragon's Dream. Dragon's Dream is a stand of one of like the prisoners that was in like the max security place. And what this does is it tells you like lucky places to go. Is it just fights? Like it just helps you in fights? I don't remember, but I think we have another C tier stand. Plus side, it talks to you, so I guess like if you want like a friend or if you're really lonely, you can talk to the dragon. Yeah, I just think like, I mean, it could help you in some scenarios, like maybe if you like avoid getting hit by like a ball or something, it could tell you like, hey, go over there. I think it's also like secretive on what it tells you, like it doesn't like elaborate. I think it's pretty mid. We're getting a lot of C tiers. 5 C tiers? No, 6 C tiers. Dang. Next up we have Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma is a fat little bastard. Editor, pull up a picture of him. And this is another stand that is like, hey, and it like talks to you, and it's like, it's very friendly at first, and it has a really high intelligence. But when no one's looking, it burns its target away with its acid saliva. Not useful, really. but I'm thinking B tier, honestly. I don't think he's that bad. Like, you could basically, Yo-Yo Ma is a rage baiting Jojo stand. That is what it is, and I think for what it's worth, I think that is pretty funny. And we now have a stand in B tier. We got a part 6 stand and all the tiers now. I don't remember the name of this stand off the top of my head, but I will pull up what it is on the screen. But this is a stand that shrinks things. It's like it like shrinks things the closer you get to it. It makes something its target, and as Jolene and Anasui like approach the green baby, for example, they were following the green baby, and as they got closer to it, they kept shrinking, like down, 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 and down as they got closer. That's this stand's ability. I think C, because personally, if I wanted a stand that was shrinking things, I think we're gonna go to B tier's Little Feet. Or if I can't get Little Feet, I think I'm gonna want Go-Go Dolls. Alright, next stand, final stand of the video, we have Jailhouse Lock. Inverse, this is a very scary stand. What this stand does, it makes it to where the person who is affected by this stand cannot remember more than 3 things, and when they remember a 3rd thing, that first thing they tried to remember is forgotten. And I think that is pretty scary as like a stand, just like as a concept, because what the stand has done before, it like traps people in like thinking limbo, and it also affects the people around you. Like, for example, Jolene was like, everybody in the prison was like wanting to watch a movie, and she like ruined it. Don't remember. Yeah, she like spoiled the movie. I think, but I think the stand is pretty good. I like its freaky design. I think we're gonna go with B tier. I think that's a nice place to put it. And yeah, we're almost done with part 6. We covered the residents, or the inmates of Green Dolphin State Prison. And in the next video, we're going to be covering Poochie stands and Dio's children. So look out for that video next. Alright everyone, welcome back to more Jojo stand rankings. This is episode 12, and we're going to be covering up the tier list with Dio's children and the 3 stands of Father Poochie, the main antagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 6, Stone Ocean. Anyway, first stand, this is Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the stand of Dio's best child, best looking, best physically, best story, best emotionally, the GOAT, the undisputed Unglow. Bohemian Rhapsody, the stand allows you to bring fictional characters into the real world. Really cool ability, somewhat, but it has a sub ability, kinda. If you know the character, like if you know the character at all, even if you recognize that character subconsciously, you become a character in the story. Like, for example, when Anasui was dealing with Bohemian Rhapsody, he recognized like Red Riding Hood and became like the big bad wolf. I think if it was just bringing fictional characters into the real world, it would be S. But I still see the goatedness of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think it is pretty funny. I think it's still a B tier, honestly. Yeah, maybe it's not always bad either. Maybe you could get something good. I think it's gonna stay in B. Next up we have, I think this is Sky High. I think it is called that. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up like what it actually is. This is the stand of Dio's other child, Raquel. I think that's how it's called, Raquel or Raquel. I don't know which one it is. But this stand is very strange, as this stand manipulates like a cryptid, like a creature that might not exist. And that creature they're called rods. And what rods do is, they're like these squirmy little creatures that fly around and they suck warmth out of things. Uh, honestly, it's not that good. I'm thinking C tier. I mean, realistically, what could you do other than like being an assassin? Could you do with this stand? I just don't really see much. This is a very, it's a good stand in verse, not a good stand in real life. Like if I had to stand in the verse, it'd probably be B. But I'm kind of trying to take this whole tier list like a 50-50 approach, like looking at all the stands in all the ways. And I just don't know. I just don't see it being above C tier. Next up we have Underworld. This is the stand of Donatello. What Underworld does is, I think you can look through people's memories with it, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure you can like resurface through people's memories. But this stand actually has, it has like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's gotta have like a, you gotta do like a ritual with it. As in, you have to dig this hole for it to use its main ability, which is like memory playback. Well, it's better than Moody Blues playback, where you can basically like have a 1-to-1 recreation of that moment, like when Underworld trapped Jolene and Hermes in the plane that was gonna crash. I think this is another C tier. I think Angelo was the only one of Dio's children that had the better stands. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in C. Alright, next we're gonna starting with Father Poochie. First up we have White Snake. This is one I have already thought about off camera, and I do think it is S tier, because personally, in my opinion, out of all of Poochie's 3 stands, I think White Snake is the best. It's got 2 abilities before like the time ability. It has the disc feature, which in itself, if it was just a disc ability, it would still just be S tier, because the ability to just take disc out of people and it being like their memory and that person, and you can just put it in yourself or another person, that is just so good and just so helpful. White Snake, with that ability, it's kind of like a lesser Heaven's Door. Kinda. You can even take people's stands with it and your own, and I just think I think that's pretty cool. Like, imagine you're in the verse, imagine you're in Jojo's and you're like this really cool character and your stand just gets stolen. I think White Snake has aura. White Snake definitely has aura, and I really like its design too. I love the design it has going, and I like its color palette. But its other ability, it's got a little sub ability. It does stuff with like acid, as it can like disguise itself. Like Poochie disguised himself as Weather Report, and it tricked Jolene into giving him the green baby. And speaking of the green baby, we are going to start with Sea Moon. Sea Moon is the second stand of Poochie. And what this does, it can change the shift of gravity. Other than its design, I don't think it's that good. But I do like its design. Is gravity shifting that bad? Could it be? I mean, you could get somewhere faster. I mean, free travel. You would have to like time it really right. Like imagine like you wanting to do something, like you're on the boardwalk and you're like, man, I really just wanna I just wanna take this all in with some quiet. Shift gravity, everybody falls off. Boom. I think it's B tier. Next up we have Made in Heaven. This is the final stand of Poochie. And what this stand does is that it accelerates time. I'll be honest, S tier. Just from design alone, it's an amazing looking stand. I like it's very unique. I think out of all the stands, it is probably one of the better designs. I love the Centaur look and I love its face. And I really like Made in Heaven. Uh, I think that's it. I think we're done with the tier list. Wow. Star Platinum all the way to Made in Heaven. It has been a long video series, but it's finally over. Wait, do y'all hear that? What is that? No, no, this can't be. No, I thought the series was over. No, the tier list. I have to finish. I got the stands. I got all the stands you sent me on the tier list. I'll get to ranking them as soon as possible. All right, see you later, Mr. Valentine.